Yeah, good morning. We actually moved down the street from where we were just a half an hour ago because the crews had packed up. We do still have one engine here, but they were able to pull all of their hoses, and we were able to get down here to show you the house here behind us in the 4700 block. A little bit tough to see because it's so dark down this street. The front of the house looks fine, but the back of it we can see burned up all the way through the roof. This was a pretty intense fire, and they had been out here for about an hour when we got out here just about an hour ago. Want to show you some pictures that KOMO Fire had put out showing just how intense those flames were. Again, when they got here this morning, it was just fully involved. Those crews, again, they had to run their hoses nearly a full block to get to a hydrant. And then just down the road from here, around the same time this morning, a detached garage fire burned up in the 3700 block of Cheyenne Street. Both of those fires now out. Now, we do have a map to show you this morning where these two fires were. And just keep that in mind as we're going to flip to another map to show you where 3 more suspicious fires took off last night in Tacoma. They all happened in about 45 minutes. A porch at 6th and South Trafton Street was set on fire, then a car fire in an alley off of South 7th Street, and a small house fire on South State Street, all very close to each other. Now, all these fires, they're on the northwest side of town. Right now, we're in Ruston, so the fires from this morning are about a 20-minute drive from the fires from last night. But most of these locations, if you go from one to another, they're only about 3 minutes apart if you're in a car, and not that far if you're running from one scene to another. So the questions, of course, this morning: are all of these fires connected? Again, the 3 fires from last night, they already are considered suspicious. And in the middle of all of this, after those fires last night, just before midnight, there was an apartment fire north of town in the Ruston area, 5000 block of North Pearl. People in an apartment building, they found a fire burning in their hallway. They evacuated. Luckily, nobody was hurt. So crews just really having an intense couple of hours. But again, the good news here, nobody in all of these fires have been hurt, but a lot of damage left behind. And now these investigators and firefighters out here this morning, 1, to see if they are connected, and 2, if they are looking for anybody. At this point, police telling us they don't have a description of anyone who they might be looking for.
Well, Eric, you know, up until Monday, there was just one Seattle Starbucks that filed for union elections. As of this week, there are now 3. So that certainly puts it in perspective for you, right, when you think about how many Starbucks are in this city. But it certainly goes to what we're seeing around the country. A couple dozen cities where also we are seeing their Starbucks employees who want this as well. Everywhere from Baltimore and Denver to Chicago and now Seattle.
It's not just coffee brewing at Starbucks. Some workers at 3 Starbucks in Seattle, home to headquarters and the first Starbucks in history, say they want a union to represent them.
Unionize Starbucks! Now!
It's not unheard of, but it's not common either for the coffee giant that touts world-class benefits. Out of 9,000 company-owned stores nationwide, only 2 of them in the U.S. voted to unionize, both recently and both in Buffalo.
Announce that we've won the first unionized Starbucks in U.S. history.
Some of their workers were in Seattle today to support the local union efforts right outside Starbucks headquarters this morning. And joining them, Seattle Socialist and City Council member Kshama Sawant.
Congratulations to the Buffalo Starbucks workers who succeeded in unionizing 2 stores despite intimidation by the bosses.
She accuses the company of union busting and is introducing a City Council resolution to stand in solidarity with workers.
We've seen the lengths Starbucks executives will go to prevent workers from unionizing.
Starbucks union busting tactics, frankly, quite disgusting.
Michael Lakes works at the Starbucks at 5th and Pike, one of the 3 shops considering unionizing. Starbucks fired back. A spokesperson says it categorically denies claims of union busting and intimidation, respects the process, will bargain in good faith, but admits it doesn't think a union is necessary. Starbucks calls its benefits package world-class, citing minimum wage set at $15 an hour this summer, and among other benefits, extended their isolation pay to COVID-positive workers who are asymptomatic.
We will not have any change in our stores that we do not have input in, and we will have a seat at the table.
Preston, you know, these attacks are very unsettling for students, businesses around here, and even the university. We're told police will be ramping up patrols in this area after those attacks and a robbery not too far from where I'm standing.
It was just a little bit scary to think about because we lived right there.
The alleyway ambush behind a sorority house could be heard all over 18th Avenue near Annika's apartment.
The alleyway is right behind our apartment, so we were able to sort of hear what was going on, and then we just heard a lot of yelling.
Seattle police say just before 6 p.m., 2 women were walking in the alley when 3 men and a woman pulled up in a Mercedes. Detectives say the female suspect grabbed one of the women, punched her in the face, then one of the guys tased the victim in the leg.
After a certain point, we heard another group of people come.
That group intervened and scared the suspects away.
It was just a little bit bizarre and kind of frightening.
Police say before the alley attack, 4 suspects beat a 23-year-old man unconscious not too far away on 15th Avenue.
It's terrifying, but at least I feel like here people will hear my screams. In Aurora, not so much.
Then later in the night, Grace Beasley started getting these crime alerts from UW, warning students about 2 failed carjackings where one of the suspects displayed a taser-like weapon.
I mean, I get those pretty regularly. They just tell us what sort of assaults occurred, and I don't tell my mom about them because she kind of loses it.
Finally, before midnight, witnesses say 2 men pretended to order food from a restaurant on University Way, only they pulled out guns and robbed the workers their phones and wallets. They got away.
I'm terrified. I'm just more brave than I am terrified. But I'm not going to let them stop me from living my life.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.